Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and I'm here for a discography rank video, and for this discography rank will be for the band Trivium. Now I realize that I've technically already done a Trivium ranking video before, but there was just some things about it that I was rather unhappy with, and my opinions have kind of changed since then. So I figured I'd go ahead and do another one for you guys, because why not? So yeah, keep in mind that this is just my opinion, and we're going to go from worst to best. So let's get started. And first up, as my least favorite, we got In Waves. Now some of you guys actually might be surprised that I have this album as low as I do at the bottom. But to be honest with you guys, this album never really did much for me. To me, it just seems like standard metalcore, and certain parts of it just seems like it was trying to be edgy. But you know, while I do think this album has played it a little too safe, it's still got some good stuff on it, like of course Black and Forsake Not the Dream. Those are some good songs. So yeah, In Waves, it's a pretty decent album, but nowadays it is probably my least favorite of their albums. Next up we got Silence in the Snow. Now, to be honest with you guys, this was initially my least favorite Trivium album for a good while, actually. Obviously, because it lacked the aggression. This album has a complete absence of the screaming vocals. There's absolutely no harsh vocals in this album. But you know, for what it is, it's a pretty decent album, and I can appreciate it now. I really like songs like Dead and Gone, Rise Above the Tides, and Breathe in the Flames. I think those are good songs, so yeah, that's Silence in the Snow. I think it's a pretty decent album, but still one of my least favorites. Next up we got Ember to Inferno, and this is of course their debut album, and I believe this was also my first Trivium album. And Ember to Inferno, the title track, was my first Trivium song, and to be honest, it was not the song that got me hooked, even though it was my first. To me, it just seemed like standard metalcore, and it didn't really seem like a band that would be worthwhile for me. But, you know, I've come to obviously learn to appreciate this band a lot more. And, yeah, this album is actually really good. It's got great songs like Pillars of Serpents, If I Could Collapse the Masses, Requiem, and the title track as well. Ember to Inferno, it's a solid album. Gets better the more you listen to it, but it's obviously not one of their best. Next up we got Vengeance Falls, which I think is actually a pretty underrated Trivium album. Doesn't really get the recognition that it deserves in my opinion. It's got some great stuff on it, such as the title track, Strife, of course, that's like one of their biggest songs, and No Way to Heal is also really good. And yeah, Vengeance Falls, it's a solid album. I think it is rather underrated, but again, not one of their best. Next up we got The Crusade, which, believe it or not, but I actually had this album ranked a lot lower in the last rank video. I don't know why. This is a solid album. I know a lot of people complain that they became Metallica ripoff with this album. Obviously, this album is more thrash metal influenced, and you know what? I like their thrash metal stuff. I mean, it's definitely very good. I really like songs like Anthem, We Are the Fire, Becoming the Dragon, and To the Rats. Those are some great songs. So, yeah, The Crusade, it's a really good album. Next up, we got Ascendancy. I mean, you have to put this in the top 3. I mean, I think in order to be a Trivium fan, you got to put this in the top 3. Yeah, definitely one of their most memorable albums, one of their most successful albums. Some might say that this is just standard metalcore too, but, you know, it's got a lot of solid stuff on it. I mean, you can't deny that. I really like songs like Rain and the title track, and just so many more. Almost every song on here is really good. Yeah, definitely a solid album, and possibly one of the greatest metalcore albums of all time. Next up we got The Sin and the Sentence, their most recent album, and what can I say that hasn't already been said? I mean, this album was definitely an improvement from Silence in the Snow. I felt like they got a lot right with this album, definitely an improvement. Their best album since, well, a good while. Yeah, I really like songs like the title track, Betrayer, and Beauty and the Sorrow. Those are some great songs. So yeah, The Sin and the Sentence, still an album that holds up, I think. It's a great album. And lastly, at number 1, we got Shogun. Now, to me, this is Trivium at their finest. I mean, everything about them, I mean, they did an excellent job in this era of the band. I mean, this is, of course, in their thrashy era, and it's just really solid. I really like Down from the Sky and Insurrection, The Calamity, and even the title track. A lot of great stuff on Shogun. And in my opinion, it's their best album. And I know a lot of people also say that it is Trivium's best album. So I have Shogun at number 1. Well, there you go, guys. That is my ranking of the Trivium discography. Let me know what you guys think, and how would you rank the discography? Please let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Take care.